Hey, David Wygant here with EddiePalmer12 at gmail.com, and that's going to be your new name, EddiePalmer12 at gmail.com. Immediately write that down. Eddie Palmer's back in the studio. We've got a new studio. Great lights in this studio, man. I got to tell you, my daughter has the fucking coolest room I've ever seen in my entire life, and when she's not here, I get to play in it and have fun with her little critters and her creepy Becky doll.
Yeah, that doll's creepy as shit.
Really creepy. Eddie, we promised them a great show again today, and we never ever will fail. Now that we have the sound down perfectly, I've got this great mic, and no longer do we hear echoing, so I'm being 100% authentic and honest with you. There's somebody said to me the other day, what would you do when your daughter turned 20 and she decided to listen to 1,000 of your podcasts? What would you say? I'd ask her what she thought. I said, because everything that I do is 100% who I am. I don't sugarcoat things. I'm not going to lie. I tell my truth. I live my truth. Why? Because I've dealt with liars. I've dealt with liars in past relationships where, they constantly contradict themselves. Why? Because when you're a liar, you have to remember what you told people.
Absolutely.
Because you're constantly contradicting yourself every single day. So you can literally catch a liar all the time. And there was a great scene from the TV show Billions that Eddie's refusing to watch, but I know he will.
I'll get around to it.
It's the last scene of season 2, and literally Damian Lewis looked at Paul Giamatti and said, in not the exact words, and said, there's going to be one loose knot that you did not tie. And you know what? People who live their truth never have to tie a loose knot. People who lie are constantly tying loose knots. The liar that's been in my life, somebody who I've caught many times, oh my God, every single time I catch them in a lie, I'm like, oh, wow, it only took 2 weeks for that lie to be exposed. Now we're getting better, okay? I'm a good lie detector. So I'm going to tell you, and Eddie will agree with this one, the most sexiest thing to me, and I'm talking friendship, business, everything, is honesty.
Oh, yeah. Nothing's better. Honesty takes care of everything. Honesty makes it everything better, if you think about it. Because if you got, let's say, just like if I'm having a down month, and my month is really shitty, I'm not the person I am, I'm not handling business the way I am, Dave can honestly say, Eddie, get your shit together. Literally go home, get your shit together, look in the mirror, and vice versa. And that's what a friend should do. A lot of times now we surround ourselves kind of like, for example, a Donald Trump. We surround ourselves with people who are going to be yes men. People are going to placate to what we want, not give us what we need, not give us the truth when we need it. Hey, cut the shit. Stop this. It's enough's enough. And so we put people around us who are going to say, oh, yeah, you're fine. Or it's okay. You went home with a few guys last week. But, you're just having fun right now, even though that's not who you really are. And I say that to say this, is not to make it one-sided, but I've known a few women I've worked with online and in different places where, we've had talks and we'd be cordial about their dating, and, I'd help them out because as a man, they kind of want my POV to things, about, their dating and who they're seeing and why this and why that. And I tell a few, I'm like, you're out here partying and drinking and, casually having intercourse with guys, and that's really not who you are or you want to be. Now, some people, I know, and some women and men, that's who they are. But a few women I can think of, they were like, that's not who they were. And then they ended up, a few months later, you check back in with them, here and there. And you find out, oh, I'm pregnant now. I'm expecting a kid. And, oh, you're in a relationship? Oh, not really. We're not really together. And I said, well, what hell? How things happened one night. Things went a little too far. And next thing you know. And it's like, well, now you're a single mother. And that's not what you wanted to be. But how did you get there? Being something you're not. And you weren't honest with yourself. You didn't really want to be out there being promiscuous. You kind of sown your own oats, but yet you're out there because your friends are. You don't want to lose the crowd. You want to project something you're not. The lies. And honesty would have been that girl sitting at the end of the bar like, I just don't really want to be here tonight. And you might have met a guy like, hey, I'm here tonight with my friends for no reason too. I didn't really want to be here. And you end up meeting somebody, go, well, now we don't have to go out anymore to bars because we both didn't like them, and you ended up meeting somebody. Or just vice versa, when you're on Tinder and Bumble, and tell the truth on your bios or whatever. I don't know, they give you bios on there?
They give you short little bios, but everybody lies about their age.
See,
so then all of a sudden, they lie about their age, they lie about their pictures, they show up, and they wonder why the person's not attracted to them, because you look 10 years older than your fucking hottest picture you put up there.
I train a lot of women, but I had one of my male clients in Hollywood say that he likes his women curvy, and there's nothing, hey,
there's nothing wrong with that.
And who doesn't? But He showed me some pictures. He was excited about the date, and she was way more curvier than she let on. The pictures were about 5 years outdated. So why would you send a man, or if you're on a virtual dating site, pictures that are 5 years outdated? Be honest. Embrace your body. Embrace your happiness. There's nothing more sexy to me when I'm walking to Whole Foods on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning or even a Sunday midday and I see a woman coming with a messy hair bun, ponytail, no makeup, and leggings, and she's confident she can be. She's not looking at who's looking at her. She's not trying to selfie herself and check her phone so she doesn't look vulnerable walking down the street. She's walking, her phone's in her purse, her keys in her hand. She's looking everybody in the eye and walking to her car with a smile on her face. That's a sexy trait. That's a woman who said, I didn't need makeup. I didn't have to spend 20 years doing my hair to go to the store. I was happy with who I am, what I had on, going out in public being me. And it's a beautiful thing. Those are the women you normally find like her relationship and her boyfriend, and they just seem so happy. Yeah, because she's not pretending, or he's not pretending. He's happy. And I'll give you, for a long story short, I'll give you an example. When you're out in relationships and you're dating people, here's how you know you're honest. If you're dating somebody and you can tell them, oh, I've had an STD before. That's when you're being honest. Not saying I have, but I remember a girl I was talking to one time. She told me, she's like, yeah, my ex-boyfriend gave me an STD. That's how I found out he was cheating. Her being that honest let me know right then that 9 times out of 10, just as I was getting to know that woman, 9 times out of 10 when she says something to me, I'm going to believe it. Because she didn't have to tell me that information.
Oh my God, no, a friend of mine is dating a woman. Really liked her a lot, right? You know, he has herpes, right?
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, and he's on all the medication they should. So there's a very small chance she'll ever get it. And he doesn't have outbreaks. He hasn't had an outbreak in 15 years, right? And, you know, he told her, he said, look, he says, I'm going to tell you honestly. He says, this is what I got. He says, I haven't had an outbreak in 15 years. I'm on this medication. And you can come with me to my dermatologist and my doctor, one of the best in the world. And they'll tell you that you have about a 1% chance of getting this, right? So she goes, really? She goes, yeah. He goes, I'll make an appointment for us. He made an appointment. He took her to the doctor, okay, with him. And the doctor sat down and explained it for an hour. Honesty, right? They've been together for 10 years. You know, and it's all, and she never caught it at all, right? And he has had it under control the whole time.
Exactly, because he went the mile and was honest and gave her the comfort level.
Yes, but that's what,
instead of sleeping with her, then telling her on the back end, freaking her out, and then trying to comfort her down then she's wondering, well, what else are you hiding behind and the wool behind your ears? Don't be afraid. I had a friend like that in college. She would tell me when things happened, oh man, I messed around and with my boyfriend, we went front door, then back door, then front again, and I gotta take I gotta take these pills. And you're like,
didn't know.
Yeah, and you learn the hard way.
Man.
But those are the friendships I cherish because these are the people who I knew would be completely honest with me about everything.
I love how she was honest.
And that's why our friendship always worked, because she'd always be completely honest with me. We'd always have that, I can tell this person what happened and not feel like I'm judged or whatever. I can just tell them, because I've never judged somebody for their honest truth. I judge people when they're lying. I had a neighbor when I lived on the East Coast. Come to find out she was a high-priced escort. And that was one of the best friendships I've ever had in my life. I learned a lot about women.
I had a friend like that too.
We lived across the street from each other. You know, I was working in, different corporate fraud at the time. Come to find out, saying one day she stopped and we started talking. And then, next thing I know, she ended up telling me, oh yeah, I'm a high-priced escort. We were best of friends for years. Literally, even now we're still in contact here and there. Just because of the honesty. And that's what people want from you. When you give them honesty, even if it's something that might shock them, it might shock them for a minute, but their brain registers back and goes, that person opened up to me and gave me the truth. That's somebody who I can trust because they entrusted me with something of theirs. So that's the thing. Honesty is a beautiful thing, no matter if it's business, like you were saying, friendship, relationships, whatever. It's just something that's going to keep people around you. Real honesty. No matter even if it hurts them then, they'll appreciate it later.
It's funny. I was doing a business deal with somebody, and they were dragging their feet. I was telling you the story today. I don't need to bring all the details in, right? So I literally wrote them an email, and I said, look, either you believe me or not. I said, I'm telling you the truth. Not my truth, but I'm telling you the truth, right? Meaning the truth is, if you ask 10 people about what happened, about what was going on, and about me in that situation, all 10 of them would back up my truth. Because I am honest with all my friends, I'm honest with all the people that are around me. So I said, either you believe me or you don't, but I'm not doing business with you if you don't, because there's no reason to.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to have that conversation, because that's the thing about honesty too, is that if you live your honest truth. You can put 10 of your friends in a room next to you, and a woman or a man could literally ask, was he telling the truth about that? Yes, he was. And every story will literally match, because an honest person is sharing all their raw, vulnerable moments with all their friends. They're not hiding anything at all. There's no hiding. There's no sugarcoating. There's no like, well, I tell Joe this story, and I tell Brett this story, and I tell Mary this story, and I tell Amy this story, right? That, and I know people like that. We know women like that.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people like that. I know men and women like that. Just, I want to control the spin-off to the story, like they were like a press secretary or something. I want to control how this is going to be perceived.
A press secretary.
Yeah, like they're Sean Spicer or something. I want to control the spin-off here. So I'm going to tell these people this and this, so I can control how I'm perceived out here in the world. When, if you're honest with people and yourself, you'll go so much further, because, you know, I'll say this, you know, just as a point. I'm at the point in my life where if I meet a woman, it's not about sex at all. Like, I haven't had sex in a year or more, and it's by choice. It's because at this point, your mental state's gonna have to attract me more than your body is. I've done everything there is to do under the sun, and I always tell women when I end up start talking to them about things, when we end up dating or start talking, that hey, I've had, you know, my past is my past. I'm letting you know from day one, so you don't have to worry. But now I'm a completely overhauled person, so this is how I look at things. And the reason I'm here now with you is because of your mental, how you approach life mentally, not because of so much how you look physically, even though that's a part of it, of course. And that's just me being honest. It's like, hey, I've done everything there's to do under the sun. That's why I don't do things now, because, you know, I'd rather be disease free and not be a single parent going into a relationship because I decided to go get drunk and have a wild night, and then I have to deal with the repercussions of that later. So I'm at the point in my life where I'm marking those mistakes, but I'm being honest with people of why I'm doing that and of where I came from. It's not this I'm holier than thou because I haven't done that, and you might be coming in dating me and you were being casually having sex with a few people before me and you started talking. That could be perfectly fine in your journey. My journey was this, and now our journey's intertwined. I'm just being honest. But you need to be honest about those people you were having casual sex with before me if we're talking. That's honesty. That way I know what's going on, you know what's going on, and we can come together on where we're going forward if we are. Because you might be looking for someone like, oh, you're really cool, and you're someone I want to date casually. And I could be like, oh, you're really cool, somebody I want to get to know casually, but you want to add the sex and still be casually. I might say, well, we're not going to be one-on-one with just me and you having sex. Let's just be friends and not add the sex. That would be the honesty and communication. And as a man, that's a rarity for me to be as young as I am and still and feel that way. But that's just based on me being honest with me in my life. I'm more concerned of career than sexual conquest.
You've had the sexual conquests, you
know.
You and I.
I'm not gonna lie about that.
Yeah, we both have had them. You and I.
I'm not allowed back in certain states.
No, I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to drink. I'm not allowed to drink tequila and smoke pot.
Yeah, I can't drink tequila.
I mean, I drink tequila. I drink tequila, and then I go smoke a joint, and I'm going to fuck somebody that night.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not even.
If you've seen the movie Ghost, it's like after about 5 drinks with me, it's about watching myself perform. God knows what.
And that's I mean, we've talked about it. It's the reason why both of us quit alcohol. Yeah. I quit alcohol because I was tired, because alcohol would get me going. Then I would go and, I would look at a girl and go, yeah, I'm going to have her tonight, right? And I would talk my way into her bedroom.
I'm going to be honest with you people. And, we're over our 10-minute time, of course. But here's the honesty thing about it. When you're good with women, you learn that taking advantage of them isn't really fun.
No,
because that's what you're doing. You're picking on the wounded bird. Yeah, you can go home with her because she's a wounded bird. You don't want the wounded bird. You want the bald eagle, and you're not gonna get the bald eagle with wounded bird tactics. So after a while, you realize I don't even want this because these women I'm going home with are broken, or these guys you're going home with, they don't have water in their fridge, or they're staying at their boy's house for the weekend and lying to you about it, or it's all these stories and subplots because they're not who they want to be, and they're searching for cheap thrills, and you were the cheap thrill for that night or that day.
We're going to come back. We're not going to do this. We'll come back in a couple of weeks. We'll have you back on in a few weeks, and we're going to talk about the effects of alcohol. And why we both kind of dropped it. And being honest and not judging, because that's another thing, too. I'm going to end it on this, okay? I don't judge anybody. I could date a woman that's had sex with 500 men if that was her journey and her path.
As long as she owns it.
As long as she owns it.
That's the thing.
Right, if she owns it. What I can't respect, and there are some people in my life, and you know who they are, that consistently are lying, consistently aren't owning anything, consistently trying to manipulate things around them. And I don't respect that. And I don't respect somebody who comes at life and everybody thinks they're sweet and nice, but deep down they're the devil inside.
Yeah.
In life, look yourself in the mirror and literally, this is a great exercise. Tell yourself the truth every single day by looking in the mirror. Tell yourself that same lie and tell me how you feel inside. Because if you're believing your lies and you're formulating these lies, you're just going to go on and teach your children that you're a liar. Because eventually your children see you that way. People will start, as you get older, people will start seeing through your bullshit. And the problem is, the older of a liar that you are, the worse the crime really is. You know, Bernie Madoff, hello. You know,
There
it's
you go.
like, there you go, Bernie Madoff. You're all a bunch of Bernie Madoffs if you lie. You may not be doing Ponzi schemes, but you may be doing lying schemes. EddiePalmer12@gmail.com is the way to reach Eddie, best trainer in the world. Okay, I'm biased because he's my good friend, and I'm biased because he's actually the only one that's ever given me legs. I
I mean,
used to be called Chicken Leg Man.
That's not bias. It's fact. I've got the pictures to prove it. Nobody does what I do as fast as I do and as well as I do it, and that's just proof.
And I have legs.
Hey,
I have a butt for the first time in my entire life.
I mean,
and
and I
that's no
see you every
fucking lie.
day. I mean, you should see what I do with some of these women all over the world I never even meet. It's amazing the weight you can get off in a week or two.
It's amazing the weight you can get off, and it's amazing the shape that you can be in.
Yeah.
So hit him up, man. He's a good trainer. And for me, spread the love, man. If you know people that are lying, this is the podcast to kick their daily reality check. We do it 24 days. We do it 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I don't take off for Christmas. I don't take off for New Year's. I don't take it off all because my goal is this to be the #1 podcast in the world, and I do not quit until I reach my goals. So if you know me, and that is my truth, you know me, you will know that I will continue to do this. I need your help, though. Spread the podcast around. It's only a 10-minute commitment. Today was 16 minutes and 50 seconds. We went a little over, but most times we keep it really under 10. All right, see you soon.